I don't understand. I know, oh Lord, I know it's in my heart and baby down in my soul. You, baby, you can't take it no more. No, I know I'm walking out that door the way you treated me too many times before. Don't you know you love them, baby, too? Oh, you know I want you there, I wanna be right there with you. I know I gotta keep you by my side till the day I die. Cause baby, ecstasy is in my hand. Oh, when I'm holding yours and mine and walking in the sand. Oh, baby, you know it's fine. But now you done and piss me off. You ain't done something you shouldn't have done. Baby, I'm mad. I'm going on. Oh, I'm going on.
And welcome back to the Lost Forgotten channel. Doing another little live broadcast. Oh, I had a feeling my program was about to get screwy. Isn't that special? This is what happens when I stay on two screens for too long. The second one becomes overlaid with the third when I bring up a third. I think it's pretty. So anyways, welcome to the extremely tardy 11Z's minus a 1 broadcast. Today I have, holy crap, that's distracting. I have headlines with a watermark over them. And I had photographed some photos I photographed some still shots of a video of a news story about this guy here a couple days ago. Let's see, where is it? I'll just go to the next window instead of digging for the folder. This guy here, this military base, slash whatever the fuck it is. You know, it's very, very interesting design, wouldn't you say? And I could have sworn I had put them on this computer, and now they're gone. So I just had to take some new photos of the video. There it is. This is a new video with actually a better angle of the facility, showing the layout of this peculiar dome structure, where, as you can see, we have this 3 connected orb plane spaceship thing, kind of like the notorious New Orleans real Saturn UFO, which, of course, in case you're not familiar with, sorry about the music there. I suppose I can go ahead and just show that one again, maybe, if it's not too hard for me to find in my many stupid folders. Where is it? One second. I should really just rename the fucking folder the one with the Gabriel videos in it. Because that's the only reason I wind up going and looking for this thing. There we go. Hidden. Hidden is the name of the folder. And let's see here. We have 2 videos. One from June 30th, 2011. One from July 3rd, 2011. And let's put those up right quick. In order. So here's from June 30th. At the beginning of the end of the beginning of the beginning of the end. Wait, what? At the beginning of the beginning of the end. Something like that. I mean, you know, YouTube's been a long time trying to narrow down various Saturnite, Satanist type conspiracies. And, well, dearies, it's pretty fucking simple. If you want to look for abominations, go to the land of the abominable snowman, the land of Nod. I did not lose track of him, he just disappeared for a second. I'm kind of a marksman. I don't just fucking lose track of a big fucking plane on with a camera, you know. Thing was like dead above us, and you know, starting just right across the street, right above the rooftops, dead silent. And then, of course, in the video after that, in which, you know, we had talked, I kind of wanted a bit more of a show, and I was obliged by, you know, fucking UFO that sounded like a bird, and then a train. Turned into a plane.
That is not far at all.
Also,
Right on the other side.
I'm so catching it.
Holy crap.
This is so cool.
I mean, we just see this thing hovering over there. And I'm like, okay, let's do this.
There's not a sound.
We're cool now. I'm officially giving you permission to show off. And listen to what it does. So yeah, that was a bizarre experience, I must say, because what you saw in the video, you would think, oh, maybe out of focus camera on a plane. No, it's like, I'm talking, the thing looked like it was 15 feet above us. And it looked just like that. It was ball glowing orbs, glowing fucking ball orbs. We see planes all the damn time. You know, that was in Kenner, for fuck's sake. There's planes. We know what planes look and sound like. That was not a damn plane. Planes don't sound like birds or trains. They sound like fucking planes. Planes don't distort your voice on the video. I was trying to talk that entire time. You can kind of hear just a little bit. I was talking that entire time. But, you know, they say it's the Americans who worship UFOs. Very interesting. It's funny how if all of the stars were actually ancient beings made to bow in order to one most high but rebellious being, you know, like the Lucifer story. According to more ancient traditions, to rally around something meant to march in a set procession in a circle around them. Which is why still to this day you see the Horde doing that when they have their little, whatever kind of fucked up pep rallies they do. So it's a red, it's a yellow, like a spiritual pressure, amber yellow, glowing sun type light in the middle. And then it's a blue, sometimes a bluish green on the, you know, red on the right, bluish green on the left. It looked blue to me, but I've seen other videos where it was a little bit greenish, and then we had the weird one the other day where it looked like greenish. But then, you know, a lot of planes get built with one red blue flasher and one blue flash, one red flasher and one blue flasher on each side. But those tend to flash. They don't appear as ball orbs. Okay. And the reason why we have the word ball and we have the word ball, ancient Canaanite deity, is because a ball used to appear as a ball. And the first time we ever really saw spheres, think about it. What sphere other than a man-made object was there in ancient times? There were orbs. there were balls. There were ancient spirits. That's where the name ball actually comes from, is from orb, from the actual Canaanite deity name of an ancient spirit. Ball. It's a ball. It's the only fucking ball there ever was. Until we decided to inflate something and play with it. And then, becoming round just made it, more playable. So then we had a ball that was a ball. And that's the ball that we know, other than our balls, which, apparently we've lost. So anyway, let's see if we still have the watermark issue. Oh, no, watermark issue is cleared up. And greetings, Maximo and Sean and Carlos. Oh, and James. What's up, James? So, yes. Frozia, the land of Nod. I guess that's why they love that Let It Go song so much. So, big story in the little talking puppet show. I mean, the news media. Yeah, the media. Everybody's all abuzz about how Carter Paige was tricked somehow. It's like everybody's just kind of running with this rolling talking point, trying to downplay this incident of courting Carter Paige. They're focusing on Carter Paige, and then they're making these general statements about, well, were Trump administration, were people trying to infiltrate the Trump campaign? As opposed to the willful collusion. It's just, big bad Russia tricked these poor, innocent, naive fools who were knowingly, quoting Russian propaganda, working with people who were on RT. Fucking the NSA advisor was on RT, for God's sake. Oh, he didn't know he was on RT. That's Putin. That was Putin that gave me that medal? Fuck. They tricked me. Jeez. These people are making this continual presentation about Carter Page, and then these, related statements about members of the Trump campaign being infiltrated by Russian spies, possibly unwittingly. But absent of the greater pool of data. Oh, that fucking pisses me off every time. Absent of the greater pool of data, which, when considered, obviously they were fucking collusive. You have to ignore facts to rationalize an individual viewpoint. Okay? That's called bullshit. And you have to ignore Trump quoting shit that wasn't translated into English on the internet. And by the time people, went to look for it, it had been taken the fuck down the next day. Okay? Which means not only did the Trump campaign have a speechwriter, or Trump himself reads Russian, which I've said is very likely the case, considering he doesn't enjoy reading English very much, obviously. But either way, what you have is the Trump campaign going to a Russian propaganda source, Sputnik News, and inserting that propaganda into a Trump speech when it had not been reported by any other outlet, translated in any public forum. Okay, the only possibility is a member of the Trump campaign translated it and inserted it into Trump's speech, or Trump reads Russian and cruises Sputnik for his fucking headlines and propaganda. But either way, you got Tillerson's little Medal of Friendship. You got Angry Leprechaun Man Mike Flynn, always over at the Kremlin, whatever he does over there, getting peed on, I don't know. But you can't sit there and take a narrow little view of Carter Page and tell this simple little story with these 4 individual fucking facts or so and just paint a narrative that ignores the millions of other facts out there. Okay? That's called bullshit. And the American people deserve better. We all deserve better. I mean, the people telling those fucking little stories deserve better than to be little pawns in a psyop of accepting a traitor. And you got to be on your guard about shit like this because it's happening all the time. So, shit's possibly more serious than I thought. And I know you I know you see that little 4th item there and are wondering, is he fucking serious? DEFCON 2? Let me explain. First of all, yes. Hell yes. Oh, yes. And this is going to be a 3-parter because there's the president information that makes it the hell yes. But foreground information is during the official Cold War, the United States had the capability to rapidly reach a state called DEFCON 2. Okay. DEFCON 1 basically meant DEFCON 2 charge, DEFCON 1 basically meant watch out for the shit that is flying from the fan, But essentially, we had, what you see that Russia clearly has right now, which is the ability to call up a shit ton of personnel and equipment on a moment's notice, ready for a massive war. Okay? Back in the 80s, we were ready at any time, if the DEFCON level was lowered, to implement that status of readiness. And if DEFCON 2 was enabled, we would be ready to defend fucking Europe from an all-out assault by 10,000 plus Russian tanks. Okay? That's a lot of tanks. More like, 20 to 40,000, the way the Russians would have actually done it. And we were aware of that, but it can't be overstated how many planes, tanks, men, and our allies too, how ready everybody was for something like what's going on right now. See, what has happened in the past 4 days, which means kind of waiting to see if it happens again today, which makes me a bit uncomfortable. You know, the whole crying wolf thing or whatever you call it. Somebody's just like, oh, those guys are there every day. They must not be criminals, kind of thing. And one day you stop watching them. Or you misinterpret my advice, which was given a couple days ago, when they make their timing test runs, okay, and they try to time your response, you don't just not respond. Because then they're just going to be like, oh, look at these fucking idiots. Let's go ahead and attack. Okay. Don't take any show of weakness, as a smart approach right now. What they've done is for the past 4 days, they've sent bombers. They initially said it was bear bombers. Now they're not specifying what kind of bombers, which means they've possibly sent some of the supersonic ones up there to Alaska, off the coast. And what I'm afraid of is, instead of complicating our response, giving a different response every time, which would be hard work, we're just thinking that not responding a couple times is going to throw them off their game. That just makes their chess pieces easier to move. Okay? Then they're going to start testing how much they can send up there. And boy, by then, which is probably today, we better have a good fucking game plan. 4 days in a row. Not once every couple of years, not once every few months or so, like it has been in the past couple of years. But 4 days in a row, they've tested Alaskan airspace. And Canadian airspace. Those bombers aren't loaded with bombs right now. Or for the past 4 days, they haven't been loaded with bombs. They've been loaded with directional spy equipment. Okay? And they're taking measure of our air defenses. Just the same fucking way we would before we attack something. So, unless we got a shit ton of raptors hiding in a mountain somewhere up there, or actually hiding in 5 different mountains at least, we could be in a lot of trouble. A lot of fucking trouble. And for the past 2 years, at least for the past 2 years, for the past maybe 3.5 years, but maybe even since 2011, when the signals started coming in that we were in for a world of shit and had been bullshitted into severely weakening our defenses, we had to play along to a certain extent and not let Russia know that we knew anything. And I'm sure there was a lot of debate in the intelligence community about what was going on. But from that point, to get back to a state where we could even implement something like DEFCON 2, a long road ahead. And I don't even know if we're there yet now, to where we actually can get to, consider this, to where we even can get to DEFCON 2 level. That's what we're trying to do right now. We're trying to get to DEFCON 2 as soon as possible, which means there could very well be a shadow government, and the decisions that are being made aren't coming from the Russian puppet. And today, further proof of that, the United States has decided, supposedly the Trump administration, but like, it's not clear who in the Trump administration, the real White House, the shadow government White House, has decided, and it is becoming official policy, that ExxonMobil is not allowed to go around the Russian sanctions, which is putting a big damper on that deal that got old Rexy Poo his Medal of Freedom from Pootley, or Pooty, Pootler, Pooty. That was a historically priceless SNL skit when they had John Goodman as Tillerson, and he was calling like him and Putin sitting there making all the plans, and Baldwin is Trump. It's like, okay, I'll be over here. So special. But, you know, the proof is in the Putin. And this fake administration, who lost by 3 million votes, has their hands all muddied up in that ass. I mean, all up in the Putin. I mean, got their hands on some Putin pie. Something like that. Like, are there any of them, like, of the major Trump advisors, are there any of them, like, besides, like, the military brass who wound up having to be put in charge? You know, but not Flynn. Not Flynn. Like, McManus and Masterson, or McMasterson and McManus' son, or Matt Master Mick. Sounds like it, like you could find among these names the ultimate white boy rapper name. But these guys, these aren't, you know, dumbasses brainwashed by Russian propaganda. They're not fucking agents. But the campaign, people that actually, like, ran the campaign, are any of those major people not tied to Russia? You know? Was there anything about the campaign that didn't advance the divide and conquer agenda? And I tell you what, if the people in the news don't start making a teachable effort of waking the American people up to what divide and conquer analysis is, okay, we have no hope. Okay, I don't think, you know, this is the one thing I've been waiting for from the fucking news, to where I can really maybe stop stressing so goddamn much and get on to more philosophical type things on this channel. the basic vigilance that our citizenry needs in order to survive for the next 20 years, let alone the next century, okay, is analysis of divide and conquer tactics. And whenever somebody runs for politics, whenever somebody's doing anything, okay, you don't have to be McCarthyite. You don't have to be like, oh, they're communist. You explain in terms of divide and conquer tactics. And you don't make that as an accusatory thing. You make it as a means by which to teach basic civic fucking responsibility. I called my dad after I found out my mom died yesterday morning. He didn't even ask me how I was doing. Didn't ask, are you okay? He's one of these people. Actually, he's the original one of these people, reincarnated, who thinks that all you need to get into heaven is a happy thought, basically. All you need to get into heaven is to memorize a slogan and repeat it enough times to where you, quote, believe it. As an intellectual exercise. Convince yourself of something. Basically, brainwash. It's willful brainwashing. Posing as Christianity. But he insists that it is mathematically flawless, that the concept of faith in this concept is the only way to salvation. And he's actually made the case that God wouldn't be so cruel as to have me come back and only reach out to the few people who could see this channel. And this is because he misunderstands the concept of faith. He literally thinks that everybody has to see me in order just to get into fucking heaven. It has nothing to do with actually being a decent person. Okay? He literally thinks I have to be like, I don't know, on Fox News or something. I don't fucking know. He doesn't seem to understand that just like 2,000 years ago, it wasn't about some metaphysical bow to me bullshit. It was about your lives. It was about freedom. It was about divide and conquer. It was about when you treat people like shit, you're easy to conquer. You become slaves to your enemies. And when you go accusing everyone and making enemies of everyone, you become blind to the greater enemies. Just like where we're at today. And just like back then, where we're at today is a point at which the truth will set you free. I'm doing my best to provide it. But it's not as though people need to find the ancient spirit that is incarnate manifestation of the true word and bow down to them as if they were some oppressive god. Okay? That's a false god's teaching. The truth is something that needs to be known. The truth will set you free if you know the truth. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. United we stand, divided we fall. That kind of thing. It's a hell of a lot more simple, and it actually makes a lot more sense than some Peter Pan version of Christianity, in which you have to believe in a happy thought and you can fly. But apparently, that's the version of Christianity that makes someone unable to look past the miracles, the time-stamped proofs of exactly who I am and what I can do. Not even interested in that. Won't even bother spending the time to look at it. Because I did not enslave mankind. How ridiculous is that? And that's what it amounts to. Forcing everyone to worship a god in order for that god to save them. That is something that these kind of people would fucking come up with. Speaking, in purely hypothetical terms. First of all, is Christ perfect? That's a stupid fucking question. Because you asked it without even defining perfection. So is Christ this concept that I haven't defined, but I've been told what it means in this context? What version of perfection are you applying to that? Are you applying the world's version of perfection? Are you applying that version of perfection? Oh, I think you are, boy. I think you are. What if perfection, as far as God's plan goes, is in how you handle your fate? How you experience your walk through life? What if perfection is willingness to admit mistakes? Does making mistakes mean you're not perfect? Or does a perfect person make mistakes and then thank God for the opportunity to learn from them? What is perfection? So how do you answer that question? Was Jesus perfect? Was he perfect because he didn't get married? But marriage is something that's ordained by God in the first book of the Bible. So Jesus wouldn't have been perfect if he got married and fulfilled the first commandment to be fruitful and multiply. He wouldn't be perfect if he was inversely proportional in complete compliance with the act of creation that God created mankind in his image. So if God created mankind in his image, what fucking image is God? He's mankind. He's not a ball. He doesn't bounce. He's not made of flubber. Okay? Wait, that's not really relevant. I'm sorry. It was a joke. Not a funny one, but I'm just saying. Balls! Okay. Sorry. Tourette's. I told you I had Tourette's. I'm sorry. also a joke. But if Jesus isn't this person that these hypocrites have said he would be, why would you expect him to return and do what they said he would do? Why would you expect him to return and end free will by forcing people to accept God, by forcing people to accept him through that big of a miracle, or whatever it is you think it would take? Now, the fact of the matter is, that big of a miracle is all it would take. Because humans are stupid. But by now you should know damn good and well that a big miracle is something that can be hoaxed. But genuineness of spirit isn't something that can be mistaken for qualities of men like that. So would Christ, would he that returns to guide mankind one day say, fuck it, I've had enough of this shit, all you people need to kiss my ass? Be kind of a dick move. I'm not saying that it's, completely impossible, but, as annoying as you kids can be, you have no idea how stubborn I am. I'm really stubborn. Okay, and I've got this idea in my head that free will should exist. I mean, sue me if you want to. But I think that people should have the right to choose their own form of government. Okay? As in where the taxes should go, how they should be, ruled in their daily lives. It should be something done by the people, for the people. Democracy, civic responsibility, compassion, helping the weak, helping the poor. These are things that I think enrich the value of the soul. And in the world that false Christianity considers a fantasy, all of these beautiful things, all of these true forms of perfection would come to an end. And absolute stagnation would persist. I don't know. Those are the comments that I'm seeing. I got the window down like below the thing. So that's what I'm seeing down in the comment box down there. It always is. That's never, to my knowledge, that has never been different from what I see in the Internet Explorer window I'm using for that screen share. Yep, fuckers in their fuckery. And when I say true Christianity is all it would take, for all of this to stop happening? I mean it. But like perfection, you have to first define true Christianity to understand why that is true. Anybody who hears something that I say, you know, I get individual facts and details wrong about shit every now and again. That's different. But when I make statements about the way things are, if somebody hears that and disagrees with it, they need to spend a little more time trying to figure out why I'm right, because I've already spent enough time trying to figure out why I might be wrong. And what you might find is that there's a bigger picture that most people have been missing. And when you apply the concept of true Christianity to the world's problems, you see that if people just had these values, not the dogmatic brainwashing of Peter Pan fucking Christianity, okay? If they just had the basic golden rule values, the basic values of what Christ and his wife actually taught. And technically Christ is the combination of the two, but just saying. You wouldn't have easily recruitable dumbasses like Carter Paige. You wouldn't have people willing to follow unethical orders in militaries. People would know the value of sacrificing themselves, and I don't mean your lives, sacrificing your financial future, sacrificing incarceration status for the greater good, sacrificing here and there, you know, missing out on something so you can help somebody else. It can be that simple. But these are the values that we've lost. And if we don't get them back, we're going to lose everything. And I mean everything. We're all going to have to report to a building that looks like that once a week. Let me just put it that way. And every knee shall bow and every tongue will confess to the fucking Antichrist. Meanwhile, the person who created you free in his image wants you to stay free, the same way any good parent would want for their child. Appreciate it, man. She needed to go. She was suffering. So it's all for the best. There's just a lot of unresolved crap between me and my mom that, you know, just another on the long list of things that I couldn't help because no one listened to me. Take it easy. Thanks for joining. And I actually do think I'm going to cut this broadcast a little short today. Still feeling pretty low energy, and I just want to spend some time with my family and relax. So yeah, I appreciate the support that's been coming in. Relying totally on donations right now for this channel. I don't just have my ads suppressed, I have my views suppressed and deleted and everything else. So I really appreciate y'all chipping in to help me keep this going so I can keep y'all informed. And you know, it sucks, but once I get other shit going again, I will again refuse any support. Or possibly once I get the fucking thanks, Wilbur. Once I get the channel trailer, which, you know, obviously has been delayed with the whole mom dying and whatnot. Once I get the channel trailer up and I do the ad, what you call it, the pay to promote thing on the channel trailer. The reason why the Shillaverse took over your fucking suggested video screen is because the Kremlin could basically just instantly monetize the channel and pay to promote it in the past year. But, you know, I'm finally going to pay to promote something. Little old me with my fucking actual videos and shit. And we're going to do a channel trailer. And hopefully I'll actually get more views and get more subscribers and make some AdSense revenue off of this thing. Which would be good because a big part of the success of the coastal restoration enterprise that I'm going to attempt to undertake, starting with a little aquaculture / pet store facility, it's going to need YouTube. It's going to need a big following on YouTube. I'm gonna have to make like a reality show of it, and I'm not gonna use this channel. I'm gonna promote it from this channel. I'm gonna have a few degrees of separation so the fuckery doesn't bleed over, because that's gonna be apolitical, just about, you know, the ocean. And this will be the channel where I tell people not to fuck with it. Yeah, I might do one big special report one day on just the ocean, how badly humans need it to survive, how badly humans need diversity of ocean life in order to prevent disease outbreaks. Okay, like literally, if people on the coasts stop eating seafood, we would all die of fucking disease, all of us. You don't understand that. That's why I need to make a big fucking documentary about it. But it's almost as simple as how complicated the nutrients are in seawater. And what you probably don't realize is that through osmosis, even humans actually, but fish absorb when they're growing, like little baby fish. And I've tested this and confirmed this myself. I don't even, like, this was just a theory, and I've actually proven this to be true in my little lab over here. They absorb minerals from the water. Okay. You know what the proof of this is? A clownfish will not grow its stripes unless you add iron and iodine to the water. It absorbs it from the water at such a level that it changes the way it looks. Okay? And that's an iridescent, very pronounced feature of that clownfish. So just think of that. Osmosis, just fish breathing, they absorb all those complex minerals in the ocean. So those coastal people eating fish, eating stuff from the ocean, they have a more complicated, efficient, and advanced immune system than the people further inland, thereby keeping them safe. Otherwise, you'd have disease outbreaks spreading about 10 times more easily, and you'd have entire communities of people unable to resist them on the coasts. So then the inland people would be fucked. So muses strike again. Maximo just thought of the Hendrix Rising Valley of Neptune. Poseidon. Yeah. Poseidon. Like angry baby Jesus. I wonder if it has anything to do with the actual term being pissed off as, you know, equal to angry. Oh, yeah. So, anyways, was I done talking about everything? I think I'm done talking about everything. Basic fucking Christian values. Okay? Not the Peter Pan happy thought. Not Paultian values, not Peterson values. But judge not lest ye be judged. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Love your enemies and pray for those that hate you. Okay? And they go low, you go high. You know, like basic Christian values. That's what we need to understand, divide and conquer, to understand the zombie army of fucking enslavement that is taking over the world. And that's what we need to resist it. So, thanks for joining me, because you are the resistance. And I am Sean Morris, and this has been a broadcast. And on that bombshell, it's time to fucking end. Thanks for watching, everybody. Click the like button for me. Make sure it stays blue. Check your subscription. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you're not a subscriber and you're just joining us, please subscribe. It would be very that's also beneficial to you, you know, and me a little bit, I suppose. I'd like to see you, you know, survive one time. Bye.